The driver turned. The driver looked at him. The driver oinked. Is that pig behind the wheel? Officer Tomalillo asked himself. Yes, he answered himself. Yes, that pig is most definitely behind the wheel. Again, Officer Tomalillo shouted over his bullhorn. Pull over! Pigs cannot drive cars! Pull over immediately! He is absolutely correct, said Mr. Watson. Pigs cannot drive cars, and I would like to pull over, but I can no longer feel my legs. Therefore, I cannot step on the brake pedal. Therefore, I cannot stop this car. Oh dear, said Baby. I think we are in trouble. Chapter 10. Back on Deku Drive, Mrs. Watson invited Eugenia inside. There is no point worrying alone, Mrs. Watson said. Come in and help me fix a snack for my darlings. Mrs. Watson brought Eugenia into the kitchen. Will you help me butter some toast? Asked Mrs. Watson. Toast, grumbled Eugenia. Who cares about toast? Don't worry, said Mrs. Watson. She patted Eugenia on the back. If Baby is with Mr. Watson, then she is just fine. Mr. Watson is an excellent driver. He is a menace, said Eugenia. Pardon? Said Mrs. Watson. Nothing, said Eugenia. She picked up a piece of toast. She applied the tiniest amount of butter. Oh, heavens, said Mrs. Watson. You have to put on more than that. Mercy likes a great deal of butter on her toast. Who cares how pigs like their toast? Eugenia said. There, said Mrs. Watson. I know that you are worried, but everything will work out. Baby will come home. In the meantime, why don't we just concentrate on our buttering? Toast is not the answer, grumbled Eugenia, but she buttered another piece anyway. Chapter 11. You must stop the car! Shouted Officer Tomalello. But I cannot stop the car, said Mr. Watson. Oink, oink, said Mercy. She was having an excellent time. I have an idea, Mr. Watson, said Baby Lincoln. If you tell me where the brake pedal is, I will apply it. The brake pedal, said Mr. Watson from underneath Mercy, is the pedal to the left of the gas pedal. The brake pedal is the pedal that I do not have my foot on. Baby unbuckled her seatbelt. She climbed into the front seat, and she put her seatbelt on. She slid as close to Mr. Watson as she could. She looked down. She saw Mr. Watson's foot, and she saw the pedal next to it. I have located the brake pedal, Mr. Watson, Baby announced. Excellent, said Mr. Watson. Now apply it. Baby stretched across Mr. Watson. I am applying the brake pedal, Mr. Watson, Baby shouted. Hold on, everyone. Chapter 12. The car screeched. The car shuddered. The car careened. The car caromed. And finally, the car stopped. Mercy was very surprised. Suddenly, she was not driving the car. Suddenly, she was not even in the car. Suddenly, Mercy was airborne. Mr. Watson was wearing a seatbelt. He did not fly out of the car. Baby Lincoln was wearing her seatbelt. She did not fly out of the car. Officer Tomalello was safe in his police cruiser. He did not fly out of the car. Only Mercy flew. Oh dear, said Baby. It's an emergency, shouted Mr. Watson. Alert the fire department! Is that pig wearing a seatbelt? Officer Tomalillo asked. No, he answered himself. That pig most certainly has not. Have laws been broken here? Asked Officer Tomalillo. Most certainly, most definitely, laws have been broken here. Mr. Watson and Baby Lincoln and Officer Tomalillo watched Mercy fly. They watched her land. Oof! Mr. Watson got out of the car. He ran to Mercy. He wrapped his arms around her and held her tight. My darling, my dear, he said. Please tell me that you are all right. Oink, said Mercy. She snuffled Mr. Watson's neck. Hooray, said Baby. She is fine. Oh, thank you, said Mr. Watson. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He bent his head and covered the tips of Mercy's ear with kisses. You are a miracle, a prodigy, a dear, said Mr. Watson. You are a porcine wonder, but even porcine wonders cannot drive. In fact, porcine wonders should never be allowed to drive. Ever. That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed.